Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to be showing you that you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on tools like this square from Woodpeckers or this marking gauge from Veritas in order to get excellent layout and marking results on your woodworking pieces. I'm going to be showing you 6 different tools that all cost under $20 that can get you well on your way. Let's take a look. First on the list today is a pencil. And not necessarily one of these pencils, because there are a couple of flaws when it comes to using kind of that standard #2 pencil. You get a really nice sharp tip, and that allows you to get a really nice line, but it wears down, and the angle at which you hold the pencil can also impact the thickness of it. And when that tip breaks, you have to seek out a pencil sharpener. So it can be great, and I have lots of these in the shop, in the cars, and all that kind of stuff. But for me, I love my mechanical pencils. So these are two Pentel 0.5 millimeter mechanical pencils. So they use 0.5 millimeter diameter leads. And the nice thing is that you get a really consistent stroke with these. So really quite easy to use. If the tip breaks, a couple clicks and you're back to working. So these sell for about $9 for a pair on Amazon.com and $12.49 Canadian at the time of filming on Amazon.ca. And you can get refill leads very inexpensively. I think that these were about $12 Canadian for a whole pack of refill leads. Now, if you want to up your game a little bit and more so augment them, I would recommend taking a look at the Pica Dry pencil from Pica. So these are really handy pencils that I use all the time in the shop. It does suffer from some of the similar struggles that you get with that #2, where the edge, kind of depending on how you hold it, can get thicker. You can, though, when it does break, there's an integrated pencil sharpener. So that's really handy, and I really like these pencils. So there are a few reasons why I like them. One, they have this handy little holster. You can sharpen them on the go. It does give you that thicker lead, so if you're not looking for the precision that you can get with the mechanical, but also they come in different colors. So while you can get the regular graphite refills, you can also get a refill pack that has white, blue, and green. So when I'm working on a lot of different, like darker hardwoods, so whether it's cherry, walnut, that sort of thing, I like to use white. Again, that integrated sharpener, and really handy. So I got a piece of hockey tape there in order to see. So moving on, we have 2 squares. And as much as I do love my new woodpecker squares, and I recently did a video that tested the accuracy of woodpeckers versus a handful of other squares, and spoiler alert, the reality is that while woodpeckers was absolutely bang on being accurate, so were a lot of other squares in my arsenal, and that included these 2 from Irwin. So we have 2 combination squares. We have a 6-inch and a 12-inch, and what we can do with these, you can just butt it up against the piece of wood, mark it. Then if we wanted to check to see if it's accurate, we can flip it, draw the line, and then we can see that the gap at the bottom between the 2 lines and the gap at the top between the 2 lines is about the same. So that should be showing that this is very square. So the other handy thing with these is that you can unscrew them, and then you can actually get a pretty high quality ruler. Now I do like to use my rulers from iGaging and Axminster Tools, so I really like these 2, and I would recommend taking a look at those. But if you're in a pinch, rather than using one of these drawing rulers that has this horrible cork on the bottom, which I guess if you're drawing would be great, but for woodworking it can definitely lead to some parallax issues, you can use the ruler out of one of your squares. So these Irwin ones, so the 12-inch sells for, let me just take a look here, the 12-inch sells for $12.99 US on Amazon.com, and the 6-inch sells for $9.99 US on Amazon.com. The 12-inch is $31.67 Canadian on Amazon.ca, which I think is a little too high. That is at the time of recording, and the 6-inch is $16.72 on Amazon.ca. So another measuring tool that I love to have in my shop, and I have had a lot of different Stanley tape measures and Irwin and a few others, but these FastCap tape measures are absolutely amazing. So this is the FastCap True 32, so it's a 16-foot tape measure, but it is in metric. And not only is it in metric, it also has markings for the 32 millimeter system. So every 32 millimeters, I don't know if this will show up on video, but it has these little dots. And this is used for cabinet making. So this is a style of cabinet making where you can get balanced panels, installation of hardware, and that sort of thing. So working with 32 millimeters, which I'm using right now, is absolutely fantastic. But they don't only sell this in metric. So I think metric is probably the lesser known of the Stanley FastCap, or sorry, the FastCap tape measures. They also sell these in standard as well as standard plus metric. So for those of you that like to have metric on one side and imperial on the other, you can get that. Or if you want just imperial or standard, you can do that as well. So these sell for, the standard one is $7.99 US. The metric one is $14.47 US. And the standard plus metric is $12.09 US all at the time of filming. And in Canada, that's $19.40 Canadian. For both the standard and the metric, as well as the standard plus metric is $19.40 as well. So actually they're all the same. So anyways, I will have links in the description below to all of these tools. And wrapping this up, we have two different marking devices. Now these are very different marking devices with very different purposes, but we first of all have the Stanley 69122 awl. So this is a scratch awl, which you can use to either do a couple things. So you can either kind of locate the spot where you're hoping to maybe screw in a screw. So right there, and then just push it down and you're left with a really nice mark. Not only does it kind of act as a tiny bit of a pilot hole, but it gives you a really nice mark that's not going to smudge away like you might get with pencil. And what I also have found in a pinch is that you can actually use this as a bit of a marking knife. There, I don't think it'll show up on camera, but you can actually get a pretty decent edge there. And I often, if I need to sharpen this, I don't necessarily pull out a whetstone or anything like that. I just grab a piece of sandpaper and just sharpen it. So anyways, the Stanley awl is a really handy marking tool to have around. It is about $10 US or $13 Canadian. Then we have the Bighorn marking knife. And this is a really handy marking knife. It gives you a really nice sharp edge and allows you to kind of mark along surfaces really quite well. Now I don't use this too much in cabinet making, but if I am doing any sort of kind of hardwood treatment, I do often use this tool. So really handy to just kind of hold it up, drag it down, and you get a really, really nice sharp edge. So far better than the awl. Again, the awl is not necessarily built for that purpose, but really nice. It does pierce the top of the fibers there, which is great. So you can get really clean cuts. And the Bighorn marking knife, this sells for $16 US or $23 Canadian. All right, so there are 6 layout, marking, and measuring tools that can get you well on your way, all for under $20. Links are in the description below to buy all of these on Amazon.com or .ca. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos soon.